Hello people of YouTube, it's Deepak here and welcome to DCS World 1.5 again. Today we'll be doing something a little different. Let me set the scene for you. It's an alternative present day in which Georgia has joined NATO and Russia is looking to test the reaction of Georgia's air defence system, as it often does in Northern Europe. In today's mission I will play the part of a Russian Air Force interceptor, tasked with carrying out this penetration test of Georgian airspace. My orders are to enter as far into Georgian airspace as possible, but to follow the instructions of any intercepting craft as soon as they make a show of force. I'm not to enter into radio contact, other than to confirm that I will comply at the last possible moment. Also, when making my turn to exit Georgian airspace, I'm to try and coax the interceptor into chasing me at maximum speed. This will give us information on their capabilities and reaction times. The intercepting aircraft is going to be a Mirage 2000C of the Georgian Air Force. I know they don't actually fly those in real life. And that's going to be piloted by my buddy Chuckles. And yes, we've pre-arranged a frequency we're going to speak to each other on, 129 megahertz. In the real world, this particular type of aircraft is not capable of monitoring standard Unicom channels, and so that's why we're doing that. In the real world, they would often have these kinds of pre-arranged channels for these purposes. Why am I not getting an engine start? Oh, of course, I've not actually enabled the starter. There we go. Let's try that again. That's more like it. Also, this is the first video that I'm doing with the helmet audio option turned on, which is a new feature of DCS World 1.5. So it simulates the pilot wearing a helmet. It changes the kind of frequency ranges that you perceive. Well, it sort of muffles quite a lot of the sounds. Okay, while I'm starting up the engine, I'm just going to ask the ground crew to mount some missiles on my aircraft. We're going to make a good show of being an interceptor, but of course we're not actually going to be firing on anyone. Okay, engine start's completed. Let's get everything powered up. Now I'm going to power the weapons pylons, but I'm not actually going to enable the missile launch switch. Again, it's really for show more than anything else. That all looks fine. It's kind of a cold winter's day, so we will have the pitot heaters on. Rearming is complete. Fantastic. And we'll turn on the taxi lights, turn on takeoff flaps, set a dangerous altitude setting, although today we're going to be cruising along at 10,000 meters, so it's very unlikely we'll be anywhere near the ground. I am going to set the aircraft up to fire weapons just in case, but of course the reality is that I'm not going to actually launch anything. There we go. And I've got the gun camera attached for today's mission, just in case anything interesting happens. I think in the real world they would absolutely be using their gun cameras. So I'll set up the RSBN for my return to Sochi as well. There we go. We've got a range readout and we've got the needle pointing. That's all good. And just going to double check. There's nothing else I need to do. Oh, navigation lights. We will have them on full intensity. And that should pretty much do it. Okay, we are ready to roll. So, going to taxi to the runway. We're not going to bother interacting with ATC today. The assumption is going to be that this is a sort of pre-cleared mission. This nice cold winter's day in Russia. like the way the audio sounds with this helmet audio kind of mode turned on. It's pretty cool. Okay, let's get lined up on the active. Okay, in position, all ready to rumble. Takeoff lights on, pitot heat is on, everything is set. Okay, let's go full throttle. As always with the 21, it's a takeoff on full afterburner. Increases the safety margin. Okay, going to rotate at 350 kilometers an hour. We are airborne, we have a positive rate. Gear comes up. There we go. Lock the gear and passing 200 meters. Flaps come up and takeoff lights retracted. Okay, so we're going to look for about 600 kilometers an hour and we're going to climb at that speed. I'm going to make a right turn so that I can fly south, well really kind of east actually, along the coast. That's going to take us out of Russia, through Abkhazia, and then into Georgian airspace, where we're going to be intercepted by Dot Chuckles in his M2000C. Okay, let's grab some altitude, nice and quick. Like I said before, initial climb going for 10,000 meters. Okay, so leveling out. Just going to pop it into recovery mode. We'll drop out of afterburner. Going to set about 95% on the throttles. Well, on the throttle, sorry. It's a single-engine aircraft. I'm going to power on my countermeasures dispensers, just in case we need to use them. And I don't think there's anything else I need to set up. That's us basically ready to go, and that's me just about emptied my centerline tank as well. So, yeah, we're contrailing, obviously, nice and obvious just now. Yeah, I think I'll maintain this position just now. This is a perfectly good heading. So for today's mission, we're carrying 2 R3Rs and 2 R3Ss, along with the countermeasures pods and a centerline fuel tank, just to give us a little bit of extra range. And yeah, I've got the aircraft configured so it could fire a radar-guided missile if it has to, but of course we're not going to. Missile launch switch is off, gun is not powered either, so we're completely safe right now. We're not going to accidentally cause an international incident. So I'm just going to alter my course very slightly to the left there, bring myself a little bit closer into the coast. Now, Dot Chuckles is most likely going to be coming from my left there. He'll probably be contrailing as well. I do have my radar warning receiver on, but he's unlikely to actually be radiating as he approaches. He's probably going to be taking intercept cues from the AWACS that he's got on his side. So I probably am not going to detect him until the very last moment. He'll be manoeuvring to appear on my right wing, so at some point he's going to pop up on my right wing and then he will call me up on the radio. Now of course, like the bad Russian I am, I will not respond initially. I'm just going to ignore him for a little while until he gets a little bit more violent, and then at the last moment I will call him back and I will comply. He's probably going to be telling me to turn around basically and stop going into unauthorized airspace. I must be quite close to the border at this stage. 150 kilometers from 150 kilometers from Sochi. Oh, there we go. What do I spy in my little periscope? Right on schedule. So yeah, he's probably going to get himself in position on my right wing there, and then he will call me up on the radio, because I am just about on the border now. I can even hear him. There he is. There's no getting past these guys. Yeah, there'd be no missing that. Guess I should look forwards from time to time. Oh.
Russian MiG-21 heading south at flight level 340. This is Shack 66. You are entering Georgian airspace. Please change your heading north.
There we go. Yep, I have been warned. That's me just entering Georgian airspace now, actually. And I'm going to say nothing, because I'm a bad Russian. Not that all Russians are bad, just I'm a bad Russian.
Unidentified MiG-21 flying south at flight level 340. You are entering Georgian airspace. Please change your heading north immediately.
Okay, it's my second warning, and I've still not responded or changed course. So things are going to get progressively nastier now. He's flaring off, showing his weapons to me. We're very much in Georgian airspace now.
Unidentified MiG-21 flying south at flight level 340. I am instructed by the Georgian government to inform you that if you do not respond immediately, change your course north, you will be shot down.
Jacques 66, this is Russian MiG-21. We have experienced a navigational and communications problem. I read you now and will immediately comply.
Russian MiG-21, Jacques 66, roger, understood. Please change your heading north.
Jacques 66, Russian MiG-21, roger, turning north. Okay, so I'm going to make my manoeuvre to the right and make my way out of Georgian airspace. Oh, yeah, he's going to escort me, obviously, to make sure that I behave myself. You know, very much like when you want a bad house guest to leave, you walk them to the door. So I'm going to make my turn, and then I'm going to go full afterburner just to test his capabilities. I still have 2,500 litres, I think, so I've got enough fuel to do it. Actually, we'll hit the afterburners now, because I'm losing speed in the turn. Let's see if he can keep up. I imagine, with it being an M2000C, he absolutely can, and yes, of course he is. No problems there. Oh, I'm picking up something on the radar warning receiver as well, which is probably the Georgian AWACS. Yeah, he's still there. He's still there. He's following me, no problem. As you would expect. Alright, let's complete this turn. Oh, actually, I think that's... Yes, that's the M2000's radar possibly as well, actually. As I said, he really does want to make sure that I leave. Like I said I would. Okie dokie, that should just about do it. I'm going to roll out here. Re-engage my autopilot, and let's see if he manages to stay with me as I accelerate. I can see him in the periscope. He's not going to let me get away. At least not until I'm out of his jurisdiction, in any case. Yep, there he is. He is managing to stay with me, no problem. I imagine that he probably doesn't want to end up in Abkhazian airspace, so he will leave me at some point shortly. Well, there we are, both zipping along at above the speed of sound. Yeah, he really is not having any trouble staying with me, is he? No trouble at all. That river just there... Oops, a bit loud. That river just there is pretty much the extent of Georgian airspace, so I imagine he's going to break off shortly. There we go. Georgia's finest, making sure that I behave myself on the way out. That should be me exiting Georgian airspace pretty much now. Jacques 66, we are now exiting Georgian airspace. Thank you for your navigational assistance.
Russian Mig21, Jacques 66, thanks very much, bye-bye.
Okay, another professionally executed intercept over. I like the break there, the turn and break. It's very pretty. Okay, so we're out of trouble now. Let me just check my navigational equipment. Yeah, we're all set up for Sochi. So is that? Yep, that's definitely correct. Okay, so that's Sochi. Distance is counting down. I'm going to just make a maximum speed return to Sochi, actually. We've completed our mission. The Georgian interceptors have been tested, and it's just time to go home and kick back. That's us sitting around about Mach 2, so really motoring away. So, at this stage I will power off the countermeasures because we're definitely not going to be needing those. Whoosh. Okay, 90 kilometers to go. We're making good time on the way back. It's much quicker to return than it is to get out at these kinds of speeds. It's good to burn off a bit of fuel as well. In the 21 you always want to be landing as light as possible. Yeah, I think that's Sochi somewhere sort of over there. So this should allow me to get a good line-up. Actually, what I'll do just now is I'll change frequencies. If I tune 17, I'll then call inbound to Sochi.
Сочи, 110, возврат.
110, Сочи.
Yeah,
Следуйте
282.
курсом 282, удаление 80, давление 757,31, посадочный 06, занимайте высоту круга.
Okay, so I will begin my descent shortly, and then yes, we should be arriving in Sochi in no time. Nice short mission. Okay, that's us, just under 50 kilometers, so I'm going to throttle all the way back to idle. Let's lose that excessive speed. We were up at about Mach 2.2 there, which is a nice quick way to get home. I'm going to adjust my course left just a bit. Oh, and I can see the airfield. Okay, so I'm going to go air brake out. No, actually, apparently I don't have the air brake mapped. Silly me. Oh well. And I will now begin my descent as well. Right, I'm probably going to need to circle around actually because I'm far too high and far too fast. Oh, there we go. I can press the button on the stick. See if we can keep that speed down as we descend. And I'm just going to circle round to the right. Oh, let's not get too low over these mountains. Okay, going to do a little bit of a high G turn now, just to get us into position. Oh, I can pop in the air brake now. There we go. Won't be needing that. Let's get the throttle back up again. And let's get our first stage of flap. Let's manage our speed and set up the trim. Okay, so we are 15 kilometers to go. That's perfect. Okay, at this point I'm going to go gear down and full flap and landing lights on. Oh, and I'll
Сочи,
engage landing mode.
110, разрешите посадку.
Still carrying quite a heavy load, even though we've burned a lot of fuel. I do have 4 missiles and an external tank on the aircraft right now. So we do need quite a high power setting just to fly the approach at the right speed. There we go. PRMG needles are moving. Let's get a nice alignment and get ourselves onto the glide slope. Oh, that's us. That's us. We should be about on the glide slope now. Very good. Speed is not too bad either. Let's see if we can get her nice and gently on the deck. There we go. On the ground. Brake shoot out. And wait until we're below 100 kilometers an hour. I'll pop the radar off just now as well. We don't want that radiating. Okay, just passing under 100. Drop the chute. And a bit of wheel braking.
1-1-0. Заруливайте на стоянку.
And let's taxi clear the runway. I'll bring the flaps in as well. Okay, so that's indicating the flaps are in. Release the spring tension on there. Well, it was a fairly successful mission. Nothing left to do other than park the aircraft. Oh, I missed that turn off. Oh well, doesn't matter. I'll get the next. I'll turn off the pitot heaters now that we're on the ground. And I'll just park the aircraft up pretty much where I started. So yeah, as far as intercepts go, that was nice and uneventful, which is what you want. Very professional of Dot Chuckles not to fire on me, despite me antagonising him a little bit. Okay, we are back in position. Unlock the canopy. And make sure that all the non-essential systems are powered off just now. So, off with the gyros and the fuel pumps. Actually, we can turn pretty much all of this equipment off just now. Okay, all these systems are off. Oh, we can go off with the navigation lights, fold away taxi takeoff light, starter, and the fire extinguishing system can all go off. I already turned off the pitot heat, so that's all good. Okay, And now let's do our shutdown. Right back where we started. Okay, that's in the correct position. All of this seems fine. So we'll just complete the shutdown. Okay, and the aircraft is secure. So, that is Intercept. I hope you all enjoyed that, and I'll see you next time.